up, everybody? Hi, my name is Oliver.
For those who are new here, and I'm Simone, and we are the Williams.
And welcome to our journey. All right, so a while ago, Simone posted on her Instagram of questions that, you know, people want to know or interested in knowing. And we have one here today from, I'm reading off my phone.
Sharice.
Well, the IG handle is Reese.chasing lights. I have it above our heads or whatever. And her question is, in discussing parenthood together, what was the moment like when you both felt like, oh, we're ready? All right, so pretty much what made us say, you know what, we're ready to be parents. All right, anything you want to say first, Simone?
Uh, well, I kind of feel like I feel like you probably were already ready, and you were waiting for me to be ready.
Okay.
Or because you always say like I'm on your time, right? Well, even if you never, I think you say that, and that's kind of like how I felt. It was like, okay, let me know when you're ready, so we could do this. So that's what I felt from you. You could add what you want to add afterwards. So for me, it's a little bit weird because I always wanted kids. Growing up, coming here, I wanted kids, but then when I moved here, with like everything, you live here, being black in America, and also my own personal experience, it kind of started shifting to the point where I was thinking that I don't even think I want kids. Not because I don't want kids, but just because, do I really want to have kids here? Do I really want to have kids with this, like with the way my mind was set, like like with everything that was going on with me emotionally and all around me, and I'm like, do I really want to have kids? So for a long time I was kind of like battling the fact that I don't want to have kids. um but those were just like outside forces influencing me. But I always wanted to have kids. Honestly, if I could have my way, I want a big family. I'm an only child to my dad, but I have a lot of siblings on my mom's side, and I grew up with a lot of cousins, and now my cousins were like siblings to me. They have kids, so I always want a big family. I mean, I always say I want like 3 to 5 kids, and if God allow me, 3 to 5 kids, that's what might be. But I think it got to the point where I think I realized I have so many different little goals that I want to do for myself, right? Whether it's like, oh, I want to lift this how much weight, or I want to take my career this way. I want to hike this mountain. I want to travel to this country. And I think it got to the point where when I say, okay, those things I could wait. Like like for instance, I wanted to do Mount Kilimanjaro next year, right? And I
Do
said,
do what?
hike Mount Kilimanjaro, even go to my country, do Mount Cameroon. I want to do all those things, but I find myself like saying, like, you know what, that could wait. If I don't do that next year, that's totally fine. I feel like I'm not even a selfish person, but I started realizing a lot of things that I want to do, but I'm not afraid to push them back. I welcome that. I say, you know what, if I have a kid right now, next year I can't do Kilimanjaro. That's totally fine. And because I will have my kids, take care of my kids, we'll have our kids, take care of our kids. And eventually, when the kids are at a certain age, shoot, we could go to Africa, and Oliver, who doesn't like to hike, it's fine. He could stay at the bottom of the trail, and I could go hike and come back to my family. So I think once I started to realize there were different things like that about my life, that I realized, okay, I'm not afraid to not do them, or to not do them right away, right? Push them back a couple of years. And I also I feel like the past 2 years, I just watch a lot of baby channels, like on Instagram, mostly on Instagram. I waste so much of my time looking at baby videos, baby videos.
Okay.
I feel like I was like, oh my god, if I don't have a kid soon, I might have to go steal one of my cousin's kid. And There are a couple of kids who are born in my family, and I see how much I am with them. And I just I just felt it. I felt that I wanted to have kids. Even before even having a conversation with him, I just kind of felt like I was ready. Like I was ready emotionally to just to put somebody else before me, right? Because that's what it is. For me, like if you have a kid, it becomes like, well, you didn't sleep, that's too bad. Baby gotta eat, so you need to wake up and feed the baby. So when I realized, okay, I am ready to put someone first, before my needs. I'm ready to kind of like pause on some of the dreams that I want to have to welcome a human being. I think that's when I realized personally that I wanted kids. When did
What
you?
was?
Huh?
That's,
Like when I
that
like
was
basically when I was like like I felt like yeah I could pause on certain things I want to do to have a kids and do that a couple of years later. Um, that's kind of like when I realized for myself that I want to have kids.
it. Okay.
When did you realize when you wanted kids?
So with me, it's never because the question is like when you felt like a moment where you said, "Okay, I'm ready." But what for me it was never a moment. It was like a building up effect, building up, building up, building up. So with me, like I have like I'm not one of those people where I want to do a bunch of stuff. I want to do this, that, and third because I feel like I've done a lot already. We've been to like 20 plus countries already. I've no and we've been to 20 plus countries. I've taught my little brother how to do a lot of things, and my life is like it's in like I would say teaching mode. Like I've taught my brother how to do that, and I've gone through the trips. I taught myself how to travel and navigate things. And to me, if you want to have children, you need to have something you want to teach, something you hand down when they grow up, and something you need to teach them when growing up. And I feel like I've had that for a while now. That's on my end. Now the other end is, especially the way when we started dating in the early stages, even before that, it was who are you gonna have the children with? That was the biggest thing. Like even when I was when we were together, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get married. Remember that? It's like nah, well, like I'm not gonna cheat, but we can stay together because horror stories of divorces and things like that. So that put me off. But the children thing is always, I knew if I'd find the type of woman I wanted, I was gonna do it. The children, that was a no brainer. But of course, I can't force it down their face. They have to want it, and as much as I do. So it was always like, okay, I wanted children, but I can't force the woman to have a child. I have to be patient enough, but just put that energy out there. But the big thing with me was just being able to educate myself and teach it. Those are the big things because with my brother, by being like more financially literate, even American history, it was like, okay, he listens to me. And that when someone listens to you and actually like, okay, they feed off you, they ask you questions, they're doing more than what you ask them to do. It's like, okay, someone could follow me. Not like when you teach big classes and people are motivated by you. No, there's someone that's like, no, teach me the way and I'm gonna come back to you with more information to help us move forward. So at that point, it was like, okay, I'm able to teach somebody.
Yeah.
So.
But when did you realize with me that, okay, I want to have children with her? That's if she wants to. But when did you realize, did you also at some point, did you feel like, okay, I think she's ready?
No, it was never that. It was never, oh, I think she's ready. It was always, whenever she's ready.
Okay. That's what I'm saying, whenever she's ready.
I've never had that, okay, I'm ready for parenthood. I never had that. I've had, okay, it's in the back of my mind. So if you came to me, it's like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, nah, no.
Yeah.
It was always, okay, when she's ready, you ready? You're not ready? Okay. Then, and I've always been like that, kind of the laid back, okay, let's see how things play out kind of thing. And plus, the pregnancy is not a stressful thing for me.
Yeah.
As far as the body wise and stuff like that. So I can't hostilely take over you and say, you're having a baby now and things like that because your mind state during that pregnancy is going to be all out of shape. So I risk the time I want to have it just for you to be comfortable in the world to have it.
I think I kind of always knew you'd be ready and you'd be great to have a father, kind of like based on what you just said, because Oliver, you're very patient. Like compared to me, if your patience at 10, I might be at a 5, maybe a 4 or 6 compared to you. So you're very patient, even with me or people around you. You're very patient, and you like to teach. Like you said, you like to like, oh, you don't know this, or you want to know this. You like to talk about that.
Long-winded answers.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of crazy. Like you don't talk much, but whenever somebody comes to you with something that you know that you want to share, you're so open and you're so like,
Yeah. I don't shut up.
yeah, like you keep talking about it, and then you're also very disciplined. There are a lot of things about you that I say, okay, you know what? I don't have that in me, but I want my kids to have that. So I need to find a person like kind of like me. Also, I say, listen, I need to find a person who has those things that I'm kind of struggling with. I'm learning, and a person who kind of has that already because I'm very loving. I'm very compassionate.
But you're a fraidy cat.
Yeah, I'm also very scared. Yeah, I'm also very scared. So basically, it's like, okay, I need someone who are able to kind of like take me out of my shell and also able to take some risk, but also very patient, right? Because if you want someone to kind of take a risk, you got to be patient. Just kind of like you say, you wanted kids, but you had to be like, make sure that I was ready to have them. So I kind of always knew that I wanted to have kids with him. I just had to be ready for it. Like I said, for me, it was more like, okay, I say, you know what? I'm ready now because we got married. Obviously, I didn't want to have kids before getting married. We got married, we moved here, and I said, you know what? I want to have kids now because this is like the first time in my life I feel like, oh, another human being, especially a baby that depends on you, could really fully depend on me. I don't have to worry about getting the next promotion, the next hike. All that could wait. I want to have my child now. Like I'm ready for that. So that's kind of like, I don't even know like if we ever have a discussion per se. I think a lot of time we discuss about like, okay, what we want our kids to know.
Yeah.
Or maybe
yeah,
all about that. We talk about that like as in, oh, you do
Yeah.
have kids. What kind of education we want them to get? Like, if we want them to grow bilingual and we don't really go to church, are we thinking about one of our parents taking them to church? Like kind of like stuff like that. So we always, even though we never say we're gonna have a kid
Yeah,
next
we
year.
always say what we're gonna teach, what's going on in the world, as
Yeah,
far as
yeah.
all this nonsense.
Yeah,
going on
like
in the world.
being black in America, like we always kind of have that, and
Like scenarios, and if you see something in the news that's a scenario, say, okay, what will we do?
yeah,
Things like that. So.
even just like little mistake, some mistake that we see with either parents or teacher, like how do we handle the situation?
react.
Yeah, react.
Yeah.
Like you've been forcing me to like not forcing me, you've been encouraging me to watch certain movies. But I'm very empathetic, right? I take on things. Like if you come to me and tell me your problems, and I take on it so much to the point where it starts hurting me more. You might even move on. I'm still here. So I was supposed to watch Central Park. Those 3 kids who got accused for killing somebody in Central Park wrongfully.
Oh, it's Central Park 5.
Central Park 5.
Yeah.
I still have it. You want me to watch that movie so I can kind of learn certain things from it, but to me, it's a scary movie. I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch scary movies. And to me, it's such a scary thing up to this point. I haven't watched the movie. And I also learned from like my other friends who are parents in terms like their kids got in certain situation with a teacher or whatever the case is. How did they handle it? Because I'm not confrontational. Like I said, I'm very loving, but I needed somebody who could be like, no, we're going left, we're going right.
Also a big thing on my end was what our parents didn't teach us.
Yes, true.
That was, to me, on my, especially on
yeah.
my side, that was a big thing. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff I was teaching my little brother.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm in my 30s and no one taught me.
Yeah,
I had to like go out there into the world and find it.
So that we had a lot of those
Yeah,
talk, as in,
those conversations we had a lot of.
You have a lot of those, as in, I think we always when we got really serious, we knew that we both knew like we wanted kids, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, okay, whenever you're ready, Simone, we can
Yeah,
have
I didn't stress the timeline.
Yeah, I never even say, oh, when you never even ask me, you ready to have kids? Kind of like, okay, we want kids, we're gonna have them eventually. But one thing we never failed to do. So we always say, so when we have kids and this happened, what's gonna happen, right? Something like, okay, another example right now, we don't have a TV, right? I've never owned a TV. I've never went to a store and bought a TV. And so we don't have a TV right now, so I watch my stuff on a computer. I mean, even necessarily need the TV, but so we're kind of wondering, because I have a friend, she's raising her child without, there's no TV in the house, right? The child only has a little tablet that they use one day on the road, right? At home, if the child was to be distracted, it could paint, it could play with his cars, whatever the case is. And I didn't grow up with a TV, and I like to think that I turned fine. So we're kind of talking about that, like, what do we do? Do we get a TV? Like, do we want, so we talked about.
Is it going to be a tablet baby?
Exactly.
Or always in front, or a phone baby? Yeah.
And I even say, you know what, my mom's go to church, she study Bible, maybe she's going to be distracted, the kid would like, stuff like that. So we always talked about
Scenario
because we knew we wanted to have a kid.
What we wanted, outcomes.
Yeah.
What didn't work.
Yeah.
What, like, especially with me, what didn't work growing up.
Yeah. Like,
what might work. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, another thing, sorry for cutting you. It's like one thing that I mean, like I said, one of the topics we always talk about is like even just like asking for forgiveness to your kids, right? Because, you know, it's not something that comes easily to some adults, like, you know, our parents, or even when you look at movies, whatever the case is, like, you know, you don't see parents asking for forgiveness when they're wrong or taking the time to explain stuff. They just say, you know, because I said so. Even if I was wrong, whatever. No, move on, you know? So we want to make sure that we don't, because we
and
were
also,
hurt.
On that note, African, Caribbean, Jamaican.
Exactly, you know. So
notorious for that.
Exactly. I mean, if you're watching this, you're black, you know it. And if you're Caribbean or African, you definitely know it. And growing up, like, we were hurt. You know, you were hurt. So we want to make sure that our kids, we understand our kids' feelings. So we talked about how we will raise our kids so much that I think at this point, there aren't many topics, like from religion, from like politics, curfew, human rights, what kind of food, like, you know, like education, science, English, I mean, everything else. Like, we just all of already bought books and it's gonna read to the kids. So
well, that's anime.
That's anime, but still they're books, you know, because you want them to be anime. Like, I think a couple of days ago, I was wondering, should we get Taken so I could like?
Who?
Remember I was thinking about we should get like a Taken so I could start like playing again. So
Tekken.
I could like Tekken. Okay.
Tekken.
But then we needed to. No, we don't have a TV for that. Okay.
Tekken
fine.
is a video game.
Yeah,
on PlayStation
and I
and
played
Xbox.
that a lot in college, and I was a kid. Okay, maybe I could kind of like start learning that again for on a weekend. I could play with my kids. We already planned, like we talk about. Okay, we're gonna have one day of the week where if all we want to just go do whatever, watch anime, he has that. One day for myself and one day family. That we talk about a lot of stuff like how we want to raise our kids. Even here being California, like we talk about it. So.
You have this blueprint, whole big old blueprint.
Like, we don't know how we're gonna follow it, but we
don't
have
know how it is, but we talked about it.
We talked about it, which I think is very important, right? Because even come to religion, we both don't go to church, but it would be so weird if like out of nowhere I woke up and said, you know what, I want to take my kid to church, and he was like, right, like nah, we're not gonna do that. But we already talked about it, right? Both our parents are religious, so we're like, nah, they could.
Yeah.
Grandma, you could take him. It's fine. You could take her. Like, it's totally fine.
To go back to the question, there was no aha moment.
Yeah, I think
time for parenthood.
And then I think the only aha was probably when I said, okay, you know what, Oliver, I am ready. Let me do this hike, and then when I come back, we could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
So it just fell into planning.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So it was never like, oh my goodness, it's time for me to be a parent, or you know what, I got it. This is why I'm a parent. It's just a build up and.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always like trust the process.
Yeah,
trust the process.
Because honestly, I think I don't even know, like the way I am right now, and I think about how much I learned even this year, compared to the last year and the year before. I feel like, wow, I'm way more ready emotionally now to take on another human life, right? To care for this little human being who's been looking for me, looking at me, looking at us for everything. So I feel like emotionally, I am way more ready now. And if you had asked me, I don't think I would have said, oh yeah, in 2021 I'm gonna be ready, you know. But I think it's just like a build up of
also the pandemic.
It gave us the time.
That's a different video, but that put things in perspective.
Yeah, it did.
That put things.
I mean, because we already spent a lot of time together, but then we were also like, we were basically like, we took each other 24/7.
Yeah, but no, not even that. It's just the thought process of what in the world, like a pandemic could come and start killing people off and stuff like that. So you start appreciating, life is. I mean, you get those times where you say to yourself, you know, life is. You don't have forever.
No, you really don't.
That next year you might not have it.
Yeah.
So that pandemic really made me start seeing things a lot more straight. But that's another video. Yeah. We'll save that for another one. But as far as this question goes, there was no aha moment. It was, okay, now we're ready. It was like all along the plan.
Yeah. So I hope that answered the question.
Yes.
If anybody has had a similar question,
yes. So if you have any questions, send it her way.
I'll put in a comment.
Yeah, put in the comments.
we'll see it, yeah.
We'll definitely take note of it. I'll note it. Or go to our Instagrams are below. Go to hers. Don't go to mine. And ask her. You know what I mean? If she responds, and that means we'll do it at some point. But definitely ask us the questions. Love to have the conversation. Love to verbalize a lot of stuff I've been thinking about for a long time. But I mean, other than that, please do the YouTube stuff.
Thanks again for being back.
Yes, like the video.
Yes.
Subscribe. I mean, we got more of these tucked and ready.
Yes. This is basically going to be all our channel. We're just going to be sitting
talk it
here
out.
and talking to you guys.
It's not fancy. This conversation stuff is not fancy.
Yeah.
And that's what it doesn't need to be.
No.
We're not going to thrive off negativity or anything. We want to talk. We want to have discussion.
Honest, and
and just see where it goes.
Yep.
All right. So
thank you so much for being back again. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Share, ask us questions, and
see you next time.
Au revoir.
We're out of here.
Bye.
Peace.